Good evening. I want to take this time to say thank you to Shankul and LaShanti for that kind introduction and for representing the best of our city's future. Thank you to Superintendent Mike Poore, Principal Burton, and the Little Rock School District for hosting us this evening. To my distinguished colleagues, the Little Rock City Board of Directors, residents, and friends, thank you for being here today. It's great to actually see you all here in person on this beautiful campus of Little Rock Southwest High School. And thank you for all those that are watching online as well. Last year, we had to host this event virtually as we've seen the opportunity that we've been physically separated due to the COVID-19 global pandemic. It is important to take a moment to reflect on what we've endured and led through these past 2 years. A historic flood, a severe winter storm, yes, even civil and social unrest, unlike anything that we've seen in my entire lifetime. High unemployment due to the economic downturn, and we have navigated the worst global pandemic in a century. Friends, we have endured. But despite all of this, the state of our city remains strong. The resilience of Little Rock makes me proud of our residents and honored to lead the public servants who serve each of you every day. From our 911 call takers, code enforcement officers, firefighters to our sanitation crews, police officers, and IT professionals. These workers come to work every day with you top of mind, striving to do the work necessary to improve quality of life by providing exceptional city services in an efficient and equitable manner. And I'm pleased to say your state's capital city is emerging from these trying years resilient and as committed as ever, moving our city forward. See, we've led throughout the pandemic, from masks and support for small businesses to incentivizing vaccines using American Rescue Plan Act funds. Thanks to these incentives, totaling almost $200,000, nearly 3,000 residents received their vaccine or booster shot. Because of these worthy investments in residents like you who have masked, distanced yourselves, and received your vaccine, we are finally back together, united and ready to grow our city forward. Our finances have remained resilient, outperforming sales tax projections the past 2 years, and the results from the 2020 census released just last year confirmed that we are now a city over 202,000, to be exact, 202,591. New businesses continue to open in our cities as we have had, we're growing. But also, I put a pin there. We're part of the top 125 cities. Not only are we 50 unique cities, but our city is growing. We've always claimed to be 200,000, but we took time focusing on hard-to-reach areas to ensure that every resident, no matter the zip code, was counted. But as we continue to focus on new businesses to continue to open in our city, as we have had over 1,300 new businesses start in our city just last year, and nearly 70% of them in our targeted wards 1, 2, 6, and 7. To be quite frank, south of 630 and east of I-30. In addition to our grow your own approach to increase jobs through small businesses and entrepreneurship, I've been committed to serving as our city's chief growth officer, working with the Little Rock Regional Chamber of Commerce and other partners to actively recruit large companies like Costco and Trex to Little Rock. See, these are worldwide companies located right here in the state's capital city. These efforts are to ensure every resident, irrespective of neighborhood or education level, can make a respectable living in our city. And we continue to do just that. As a result of our partnership with the Chamber, we closed out 2021 with a total of 4,324 new jobs. That's because of the partnership of the Little Rock Chamber, the City Board of Directors. We all work together to bring these jobs to our city. But that also represents $134 million in new payroll. This is truly the ministry of jobs. $633 million in new capital investment for the Little Rock metro area. That is growing forward. See, we continue to invest in underserved and unserved areas because we know a rising tide lifts all boats. Meaning when marginalized communities are elevated, it benefits us all, and with a spirit of being safer, cleaner, and a more desirable city. Safer, cleaner, and more desirable. And have we been committed to all areas of Little Rock with an equity-driven approach for our policies and programs. That includes our targeted revitalization plan, where we have been waiving permitting fees for the development south of 630 and east of I-30. To date, we've already waived $1 million in fees. But here's the real math. We waived $1 million in fees, but with now nearly 55% of our city's new development in 2021, guess where it happened? In these targeted areas. This is the definition of being intentional, and also this is equity at work. Just last year, our public works team completed $34 million in capital improvements throughout the city on various street, drainage, and bridge projects, including, Director Wyrick, the Guyer Springs Railroad overpass, which was completed in September, the Little Rock Port Improvement Projects, which improve access to job opportunities, and Director Wright and the Canis Road expansion, as well as Vice Mayor Hines, which is scheduled to be completed this summer. And please know, we are building on those successes as we grow forward in 2022. Little Rock is a city of opportunity, a beacon of light in the middle of the country, and a place that provides hope for people, whether you are from here, like me, new here, starting your career, like John Clavin and Elizabeth Bates, who moved to the Heights upon graduating from UCLA last year, or here to retire like our friend Donald in Chenal Valley. Whatever it is that brings you to Little Rock, it is my job to help keep you here. And we are committed to doing just that by focusing on safety, jobs, quality of life and place, city services, and education as we propel our city forward into a brighter future. First, we're growing forward in safety by addressing community violence holistically, to not only address crime now in the short term, but to reduce it in the long term for generations to come. To do so, we will propose raises for entry-level police officers to remain competitive as we recruit top law enforcement officers to the Little Rock Police Department. And we're so grateful to the men and women who are waking up each and every day to serve as guardians in our city, to protect us, and we're so grateful for them. And as we're working to increase staffing and emergency communications to better serve our residents by promptly answering 911 calls and dispatching officers to emergency situations, we also continue our emphasis on 21st century community policing by assigning additional COP officers and work towards having more officers live in the communities they serve. But we know we cannot rely solely on law enforcement to address crime. This national surge in violence requires a comprehensive solution, because we cannot arrest our way out of this problem. The county jail is full, and we understand just how full it is. We cannot continue to allow the lack of opportunities and resources in certain neighborhoods and then show surprise when kids, yes, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds are snatching purses and jacking cars. This is why we launched our Office of Neighborhood Safety last year, to hone in on crime prevention through community programs, so we can give our youth an alternative to a life of crime and violence. Here's why. We have to ensure that our children have something to do, to ensure they have opportunities, to ensure that they're productive, so we prevent them from a life of crime. Since then, I have also directed staff to implement a robust plan that spans multiple departments to assist in crime reduction. This plan includes securing or demolishing vacant properties, like the one on Asher, the old Advance Auto, removing blight in high-crime neighborhoods, and improving lighting in targeted areas to increase safety. We will also better utilize our parks facilities to provide safe outlets for fun, like back in the day, midnight basketball, and other activities launching this summer. It was these types of activities, along with a solid education and an engaged family, that kept me off the streets when I was growing up here in the 1990s. In addition, I will ask the City Board to recommit additional American Rescue Plan funds towards community violence reduction efforts to continue the current programming for at least the next 2 years. There's a new term here. It's not solely domestic violence, it's not solely gangs and drugs, but it's also a new term we all are finding out about called the acquaintance violence. We're seeing conveys hopelessness in our young people. So it is incumbent upon us to provide and promote hope. HOPE stands for holistic outreach and prevention for every neighborhood. So that the young man in Southwest Little Rock can imagine his life beyond the age of 25. And the young lady in the East End believes that she can achieve whatever she puts her mind to. As a son of this city, I'm heartbroken and deeply frustrated by the crime we're experiencing. Many may not realize, but this crime affects me personally. It's happening to the people I know. I've been to at least 3 or 4 funerals of people I actually grew up with. This happened in neighborhoods I frequent, and in large part to individuals who look like me and are much younger than me. But I'm confident that these data-driven wraparound services, along with cutting-edge policing, will move our city towards a safer Little Rock by 2023. Because crime is closely associated with poverty and socioeconomic status, we will continue our emphasis on equitable economics to not only reduce crime, but to increase economic mobility for all residents. For the past 3 years, we've been connecting potential with opportunity to increase wealth in Little Rock through both entrepreneurship and employment. We've received 145 applications for our first 2 classes of Build Academy, our very own small business incubator. And our second cohort will begin on April 7th at our newly renovated Willie Hinton Business and Innovation Center in the heart of the 12th Street corridor. That renovation, shout out to City Manager Bruce Moore and Kendra Pruitt and all those who played a vital role in reshaping, reimagining, and reinvesting in the 12th Street corridor. And Emprende, a new program to provide business workshops and training, will start later this week for our Spanish-speaking business owners, because we believe ownership should be available to all. And we will not stop there. In 2019, I committed to increasing the city's minority spend to at least 25% by 2023. And I'm pleased to announce we have increased our spending with diverse vendors from 13% to 23% since my first year in office. See, when we have educational achievement and diversity in the marketplace, it benefits our mission to unite, grow, and transform. We will continue educating our Little Rock small businesses on how to win city contracts as we further increase participation with diverse vendors and suppliers. This work is good for business, but it's also impactful and potentially life-changing for those business owners and their employees. While we, the city, should lead by example in promoting diversity and equity through how we spend our dollars, it takes all of us to truly make an impact. The city, the business community, and the philanthropic community. That is why we officially formed our Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion last year and launched Opportunity Little Rock, a citywide movement for equity in partnership with UA Little Rock and the Chamber, where local companies can join our efforts by promoting equity within their own operations. We understand everyone has their own journey, and we're ready to help train along that journey with you. While we currently have 32 companies participating in Opportunity Little Rock, like Integrity and Southwest Power Pool, we look forward to partnering with at least 50 by the end of this year so that the minority businesses and diverse employees have endless opportunities to support themselves and their families. In addition to providing support for our local businesses, we will continue recruiting companies to Little Rock, adding to our total of nearly 8,000 new jobs since I took office in 2019. These 8,000 new jobs is a representation of the strategic partnership that we have with the Little Rock Chamber because of our city departments that provide concierge service to ensure that when you come to the city of Little Rock, you understand that we are truly open for business. And that is why Indeed.com has even listed us, the state's capital city, as one of the top 10 fastest growing cities for job openings. We are growing forward. See, the thing about growing forward is understanding our assets. See, we have river, rail, road, and air right here in the center of the state, in the center of our city. Since 1959, the Port of Little Rock has been an economic driver for our region's economy. This economic engine was turbocharged over the last few years as major investments from HMS Manufacturing, which is a woman-led company, Trex, and Amazon, and yes, I said Amazon 1, 2, 3, and hopefully be 4 and 5, have nearly doubled the total employment right here. As a city, we must continue to invest in the efforts to recruit businesses to add new jobs and industry to our community. But accordingly, I'll be asking the city board to allocate at least $3 million to recruit even more high-wage jobs to Little Rock over the next 2 years. It takes these type of investments to fuel these close to 8,000, and we hope by the end of 2022 we get close to 10,000. So please keep an eye out for exciting announcements about the port at tomorrow's city board meeting. As your mayor, if you are a Little Rock company looking to expand or a company located anywhere around the world looking to move, we welcome you to our world-class city. The city board and I welcome the opportunity to visit with you to see how the city of Little Rock can support your efforts as we work together to grow forward. From here in Southwest Little Rock to the booming Soma District downtown, in far west, our city is ripe for new development. We're seeing it everywhere, but we have to keep fueling the new development. These efforts are to ensure we make Little Rock a city where opportunity is not just an aspiration, but a reality for all of us. With our dual approach to economics by growing existing businesses while simultaneously recruiting new jobs, we can only grow forward in 2022 by improving quality of life and place for residents in each community of our city. See, we must understand that it takes targeted community development. We share that appreciation to City Director Doris Wright, who helped lead that particular resolution, where this city committed to $5 million new over the next 5 years, targeted for areas wards 1, 2, 6, and 7, and I'm happy to report that we've already funded the first $1 million of the $5 million. And I will continue working with my colleagues on the city board to identify and allocate additional dollars to uplift communities, such as the 12th Street corridor, as City Director Ken Richardson always is focused on, to John Barrow and Roosevelt Road. We have been recruiting a grocery store to the 12th Street corridor to address the food desert for many years. We're thankful for the hard work of City Director Kathy Webb and Kathy Peck and City Director Ken Richardson, who've been very focused on how do we address food deserts in those particular areas. And we will supplement those efforts to do more. But we also have to continue to urge each other, and that's one of the things that we know City Director Antoine Phillips has been doing since he stepped foot in office. To start, I'll be asking the city board to commit funds to spur mixed-use development, including a grocery store and affordable housing, based on community feedback we've received over the years. This partnership will also fund an expansion of a senior center facility at University Park. Next, we will consider purchasing vacant property, like the schools being closed this year, to make sure those buildings are used in a way that's beneficial to their communities. We've been focused, and we have to understand that as our city is growing, we have to have a greater focus on affordable housing. And that's the reason why we're committing and working with our housing department to create opportunities to develop at least 100 units within the next 3 years, including affordable single-family housing and rental units, starting with the 14 homes in Ward 6. We look forward to working with local developers to increase infill throughout our city. We must do more to transition our unsheltered residents out of homelessness. Last year, our city board allocated $1.5 million of American Rescue Plan funds towards a micro home village for this very purpose. With those funds on hand, we are committed to purchasing property and beginning a groundbreaking sometime this year. Because our brothers and sisters experiencing homelessness, they matter. But we have to show them that they matter. Our 63 parks facilities are a huge part of our city's quality of life in place. We are committed to improving these public spaces and increasing utilization to show why Little Rock is in fact a hidden gem that we're starting to tell everybody about. But also, we're a leading southern city that's a catalyst for the New South. This year, we will complete the first phase of the Tri-Creek Greenway project and identify funding to connect the Southwest Trail. We are also in the final stages of completing our own Rucker Park, Canis Park basketball courts to bring them back just in time for this summer. I've also tasked city staff to identify dedicated funding to improve and develop portions of War Memorial and Hyman Parks to make them a destination for our city, state, and region. Entertainment in our city is also a critical aspect of quality of life in place. Last year, we announced Lit Fest, a return to the Rock. I'm proud to announce tonight we will host our inaugural festival in conjunction with our Equity and Economic Summit this summer. Please stay tuned to find out more information about this incredible event in the coming weeks. And in their terms, it will be lit. This beautiful culture of Little Rock is also expressed through its diverse food options. And small businesses like our local restaurants have been greatly impacted the past 2 years. That is why I'm excited to announce our new program, Eat Big in Little Rock, an original LRTV program where we will highlight various eateries throughout the city over conversation and good food. This program is a partnership with one of our city's most popular food bloggers, The Mighty Rib, and we'll be launching this spring. See, quality of life in place is not only about parks and entertainment, but it's also about ensuring our residents have the means to lead prosperous lives. We're doing that through our equitable economics, but we must do more, starting with our own city employees. I will work with our city board to ensure every full-time employee at the City of Little Rock is paid a livable wage of at least $15 per hour by 2023. And we will invest in a comprehensive compensation study to address pay equity by 2024. Our Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion will assist us in creating the Mayor's Pay Equity Pledge to guide us and other partner entities to take a strong look at how we are paying our employees. I've also asked our HR department and our Chief People Officer to determine the feasibility of a staggered 4-day work week for certain city departments, which in turn will reduce energy use and gas emissions in our city, while improving retention and overall job satisfaction. We at the City of Little Rock are growing forward as a top employer by attracting and retaining diverse talent and ensuring a sense of belonging is experienced by all. And we must also get back to the basics. I've challenged our staff that good cannot be good enough. We must be exceptional. From our streets and sidewalks to our solid waste services and sustainability, we are taking an equity-driven approach to ensure every resident in every neighborhood receives the quality service he or she deserves and expects. We have already started some of this work with new sidewalks in neighborhoods across our city, like those on Chico Road and Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, along with streetscape projects like the beautiful work we've done in the historic Wright Avenue neighborhood. To do the basics well, we must have adequate staffing throughout city government. So later this year, I'll be asking the city board to approve sign-on bonuses for hard-to-fill positions in departments that remain understaffed, like CDL drivers and 911 call takers, to ensure we are appropriately recruiting the necessary employees to adequately provide city services in an efficient manner. Our team will also be conducting site visits and targeting neighborhoods using our day laborers and bridge-to-work crews. As we grow forward together, it is my goal that no neighborhood is left behind. While targeting areas in our city with the greatest need, I will appoint the Capitol Avenue Revitalization Committee to develop a strategic plan for a crucial area of downtown Little Rock. We must do our part to maintain the vibrancy of our city's heartbeat by working with various stakeholders to ensure the success of some of Little Rock's high-rise buildings remain occupied. Being a good steward of our planet is also a key component of getting back to the basics. Extreme weather events, like the March snowstorm a few weeks ago, show how important our sustainability efforts are to our city and to our planet. Sustainability remains a priority for this administration, and today we double down on that commitment by asking the Sustainability Office to create an action plan for city operations to use 100% clean energy by 2030. In the meantime, we will continue doing our part by increasing recycling citywide and in city-owned buildings by at least 10% in 2023. This is how we will grow forward as an energy-efficient city, leaving a legacy of good stewardship for future generations of Little Rock residents. Over the past 3 years, we've been devoted to education in our city, recognizing that a city must invest in its most precious assets, our youth. I'm proud of the work we've accomplished with the city board through our city's first chief education officer, including our early literacy initiatives and launching the Community Schools Partnership with the Little Rock School District. Through our Community Schools initiative, students and families at Watson, Chico, Stevens, and Washington have wraparound services and resources such as health and vision clinics, social workers, banks, garden programs, and food pantries right on campus, which serves as hubs for those neighborhoods. Community schools only happen through the power of partnerships. And thanks to the partnership with the Arkansas Department of Human Services, the Division of Children and Family Services, I'm happy to announce that we will be expanding our community school model to 2 additional schools, Mapleville Elementary and Mapleville Middle School. Like our current community schools, these schools will also offer services that will strengthen families and communities, prevent child maltreatment, and transform the academic and social lives of students and the neighborhoods around them. This year, we will also go forward in our work towards digital equity, because we recognize that access to broadband and Wi-Fi is necessary for communities to participate fully in social, democratic, and economic opportunities. And I'm proud to announce that all of these education efforts, from cradle to career, will continue under the direction of our new Chief Education Officer, Jennifer Glasgow, Assistant Director of Excel by 8 and President of the Little Rock Public Education Foundation. I'm excited for education to grow forward in our city in building on the strong foundation of our previous Chief Education Officer, Dr. Jay Barth, and as we move our city forward based on the foundation laid the past 3 years. Friends, we cannot grow forward alone. We're so grateful for the city board because it doesn't happen without their votes and how they set policy. It takes all of us putting aside our differences and doing collective work to improve our city, me included. To my colleagues, I ask you, please join me in a new commitment to civility in how we govern at the City of Little Rock. Let's be a positive example of civil discourse for our residents in these trying times that we see in our city, our state, and our nation. I ask that we schedule the board retreat recommended by the former government study group 2 years ago to find common ground and build rapport to better serve our residents together. As we see around the globe, particularly with the war on Ukraine and the Syrian civil war, we cannot take our democracy for granted. Our city government needs to work well together and for its people, because we are here for the people. Little Rock, together we have experienced historic jobs growth. We've overcome disasters. We've improved quality of life for all. And yes, we've even invested in education. We also have sacrificed for each other's safety. And we are continuing this work we started 3 years ago to serve all of Little Rock, to ensure that we unite, we grow, we transform, but most important, that we grow forward. While we've come a long way, there's so much more work to do. So Little Rock, I ask you to join me, to join us as we continue growing forward in 2022. God bless you, and God bless the city of Little Rock. I appreciate you.